cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art Class C graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. Well, my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
There's only one present-day Major League Baseball team to never advance to the World Series, and you guessed it, the unluckiest of those MLB franchises is the one and only Seattle Mariners. In case you believe in curses, Mariners fans like to blame the team's unlucky ways on the curse of the Seattle Pilots. If you didn't know, the Pilots were actually the first MLB team in the history of Seattle baseball, but because fans didn't come to the games, Bud Selig and his ownership group bought the Pilots for $10.8 million to bring the franchise to Milwaukee. The Milwaukee Brewers began operations in 1970, meaning the Pilots only lasted 1 year in Seattle. The Pilots filed for bankruptcy on April 1st, 1970, and since then, Mariners fans have been subjected to lackluster baseball. If you're a fan of superstitions, the legend goes that because enough fans didn't attend the Pilot home games, a curse was put on the Brewers and any franchise that would materialize in Seattle thereafter. Since the Pilots left in 1970, the Brewers and Mariners have only played in one combined World Series. Even though the Mariners won 116 regular season games in 2001, the M's still didn't advance to the World Series after having to face off against the New York Yankees during the American League Championship Series. Fans like to point to the curse as the Pilots could have stayed in Seattle if there were more fans at the games. However, according to numerous reports, the situation at Sick's Stadium was so dire that fans couldn't even flush the toilets during home games. Sick's Stadium was reportedly called a pig pen by Oakland Athletics owner Chuck Finley, and the home of the Pilots only allowed 11,000 fans entering the 1969 season. Fans had every right to avoid attending Pilots games, especially since ticket prices for the Pilots were some of the highest in the league. Still, it's quite a coincidence that when the Mariners were 3 weeks away from playing in the 2001 American League Division Series, tragedy struck at the Twin Towers. Do I believe in curses? Absolutely not. But the Yankees were media darlings that October after what happened at the World Trade Center. The talk of baseball prior to September 11th was Ichiro Suzuki's incredible rookie season, and the Mariners looking to obtain the best regular season record in MLB history. But after 9/11, the Mariners were considered more of the indifferent Pacific Coast ball club than the rooting interests of fans. Bud Selig bought the Pilots, and since then, the Brewers have only played in one World Series. They've only won 5 division titles, and they've only played the National League Championship Series twice since changing leagues in 1997. Did the baseball gods curse the Brewers for not allowing the Pilots enough time to establish a Seattle franchise? Time will only tell. For those of you who aren't superstitious, the reason for the Mariners' misfortunes have to do with crappy scouting, subsequent lowly draft selections, and overall player development. However, the history of low attendance continued with the early years of Mariners baseball. After the Commissioner's Office awarded Seattle another MLB franchise following the breach of contract lawsuit against the American League, the Mariners continue to have low attendance numbers, similar to the Pilots. The Mariners wouldn't have a winning season until 1991, and even when the ball club showed signs of winning, the M's traded away starting pitcher Bill Swift. Swift won the ERA crown in 1992 and finished third in Cy Young voting in 1993. Swift was traded to San Francisco following that 1991 winning season in Seattle. Things started to turn around during the early 90s once the new owner, Hiroshi Yamauchi, signed manager Lou Piniella. The Mariners would go on to win its first division title in 1995 and win its first postseason series. It was Seattle's first postseason appearance since the franchise began operations in 1977. In fact, if the Mariners hadn't won the 1995 American League West Division, the franchise could have easily left Seattle. The California Angels blew a 13-game lead over Seattle, and the Mariners defeated the Angels 9-1 in the one-game playoff for the AL West Division crown. But, as per the curse of the Seattle Pilots, the M's always find themselves just short of an American League pennant. The 95 ALCS featured two unlikely teams, the M's and the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians, who hadn't won the pennant since 1954, were something of an underdog themselves. The 1995 season would be Seattle's third ever winning season, but they wouldn't play in the Fall Classic. The Indians/Guardians won the 1995 American League Championship Series 4-2, with the Mariners dumping their last three in the toilet. In fact, the Mariners went scoreless the last 15 innings of the ALCS. While the Mariners lost the Championship Series, it's still a season that many Seattle baseball fans remember fondly. Ken Griffey Jr.'s famous game-winning run in Game 5 of the Division Series against the Yankees inevitably led to the development of a video game, Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run. Edgar Martinez's game-winning double from Game 5 was key in enticing the King County Council to vote on a stadium funding package to build the modern-day Safeco Field. With baseball now securely in Washington, the Mariners look to avenge its 1995 ALCS disappointment with a 1997 Fall Classic appearance. To do so, they need to first defeat the best record in the AL, the Baltimore Orioles. Incredibly, the Mariners were supposed to play the Indians, but due to the old rules of division foes not being allowed to play each other during the division series, the Mariners had to play against the best record in the American League, despite having a better record than Cleveland. Would the Mariners have fared better against Cleveland in a rematch from 1995? Who knows? Regardless, the M's lost the 1997 division series in 4 games. Randy Johnson was awful in the series, losing both games. The M's were even worse at home, as they lost games 1 and 2 by a combined score of 18-6. Seattle won Game 3 in Baltimore, but they only managed 2 hits at Camden Yards during Game 4, with one of those hits being a solo shot by Martinez. With basically no offense in Game 4, Randy Johnson gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, which turned out to be more than enough for the Orioles to eliminate the M's. Seattle would get back to the postseason in 2000, this time as the wildcard representative. In its first and still last ever postseason sweep, the Mariners surprisingly swept the number 1 seed in the White Sox to advance to its second ever ALCS. This time around, Derek Jeter and the Yankees achieved revenge against the Mariners. The M's fought hard, but the Yanks were just too much for Seattle. A 6-game playoff series win saw the Yankees eventually sweep the Mets for their 26th World Series title. The Yankees dominated the Mariners, as 3 of New York's wins were blowout victories. The Mariners' pitching staff just could not contain the Yankees, which was really unsettling because A-Rod led the ALCS in total bases. Seattle once again took on the Yankees in 2001, this time without Alex Rodriguez. However, Ichiro Suzuki won the unfathomable Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, Rookie of the Year, and MVP awards all in the same season as Seattle's leadoff hitter. The 2001 ALCS turned out to be even worse than 2000. With everyone seemingly rooting for the Yankees due to the events of 9/11, the Yankees became the must-watch underdogs. Remember, the Mariners ended the playoffs as the number 1 overall seed, but unlike the 1998 Yankees, who won 114 games, the 2001 Mariners didn't have a superstar besides Ichiro. Brett Boone had a career year with 37 homers and 141 RBI, but could he continue that 6% home run probability into the postseason? The 116-win Mariners entered the ALCS with Ichiro on a hot streak. Ichiro batted .600 in the 5-game division series against the Guardians, but he couldn't continue that streak into the championship series, as Seattle's most valuable player only hit .222 in the 5-game ALCS. The Yanks easily took care of the Mariners 4-1. Aaron Seeley lost all 3 of his decisions in the 2001 postseason, including Game 5 at Yankee Stadium, where those damn Yankees destroyed the M's 12-3. Mariners legend Edgar Martinez was a non-factor against the Yanks, and fellow 2001 All-Star John Olerud didn't fare much better. Since 2001, the Mariners have not made the postseason. As if the baseball gods hate Mariners fans, the M's have been eliminated on the last day of the season in 2014 and 2021. The M's have the longest playoff drought in all the 4 American professional sports. One of the main reasons for this is the absolutely bizarre trade that was made in 2008. The Mariners somehow thought that Eric Bedard, who had never played an All-Star game, was their missing piece. They gave away their top prospects in Adam Jones, Chris Tillman, and 3 other players for Bedard. Jones became a 5-time All-Star outfielder and helped lead the Orioles back to prominence in the American League East Division. Tillman was a 2003 All-Star who was a major contributor during Baltimore's run in the 2014 postseason. Remember, the Mariners finished 1 win shy of a wild-card berth in 2014, but they traded all 5 of those players to Baltimore for Bedard. Bedard finished his career with a losing record, an ERA just under 4, and only lasted 4 seasons in Seattle. Things have been so bad in Seattle that Ichiro broke George Sisler's single-season hit record during a losing season, and Felix Hernandez won the Cy Young with a losing Mariners ball club. So are the Mariners cursed? Well, it sure is weird that the Brewers have never won the World Series, and the Mariners have never appeared in the World Series. If the former Seattle Pilot players wanted to curse Milwaukee and Seattle, it sure is working. Finally, keep in mind that the big unit, A-Rod, Ken Griffey the Kid Jr., and Edgar Papi Martinez were all on the same team, and the Mariners still couldn't make the World Series in 1995 and 1997. Adding insult to injury, A-Rod and the big unit won the World Series once they left Seattle. But do you think that the Mariners are cursed? Why can't the Emerald City ever host a World Series game? Make sure to comment below and subscribe to Sports Broadcast Solutions. Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Hey, this is Sarah Greenfalk, owner of PsychEdge. How would you like to learn how to manage your emotions and reactions in order to enhance your performance and be successful in life? I coach and counsel student athletes, performers, and professionals, giving them the mental skills and mindsets to build confidence and resilience. My background in physical therapy, massage therapy, personal training, and 15 years of counseling give my clients an advantage. So if you are wanting to be recruited, perform better, or struggling with life balance, anxiety, or depression symptoms, I will stand by you until we reach your goals. Contact me today, sarah@aimtogrow.com, and be sure to visit my website, psychedge.club, for your monthly blog on mental health, sport, and performance psychology tips.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Hey, this is Sarah Greenfalk here of PsychEdge. Do you want to learn how to improve your performance, improve your confidence, improve your resilience? Coming this fall, PsychEdge is releasing 5 workshop classes that will give you the skills to accomplish your goals with increased confidence and resilience. This is your opportunity to learn all the main psychological pieces of mental training in one place, plus the process I've developed to build these skills. Go to my website, psychedge.club, and sign up for my monthly blog emails, which will include the updates on the class release.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you that just want raw footage of your sporting event, but no play-by-play or color commentary, you just need us to live stream video from the event over the internet. We will live stream your event on YouTube on our Sports Broadcast Solutions channel. In addition, we also have a dedicated channel on YouTube for live streaming at SBS Livestream. And if you need multiple channels, we can utilize Facebook Livestream and Instagram Live on our channel as well. Options include commercials from your sponsors, professional scoreboard graphics are still available, and of course, yes, pre- and post-game interviews are available as an option if you want.
We've been working really hard this whole summer and stuff.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. This is Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital sporting world.
2010. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final is taking place between the Chicago Blackhawks and the Philadelphia Flyers. The final result will be an overtime win in Philadelphia. If the Flyers end up victorious, they'll still have to win a Game 7 in Chicago. It's a 3-3 tie in the first overtime, meaning this has been a moderate offensive explosion with some decent defense and goaltending squeeze in between this hockey contest. This is a huge game for Blackhawks fans, as their favorite hockey team has been a laughingstock in the Western Conference for most of the previous decade. For the Flyers, they're looking to bring back Stanley Cup glory to the city of brotherly love for the first time since the 1970s. To truly understand the importance of what happens next, we need to hit that left button on the VCR. In other words, we need to rewind. The Blackhawks are an overtime goal away from cementing their legacy in NHL history. But for a franchise who used to not even televise its home games, this seemed like a pipe dream even 5 years ago. Known for his severe cheapness, Blackhawks former owner Bill Wirtz decided to cancel all home broadcast agreements with network and cable television outlets in 1992. According to Wirtz and the Wirtz Corporation as a whole, home broadcasts were, quote, unfair to the team's season ticket holders, unquote. And as crazy as this decision was by Wirtz, fan attendance increased during the mid-1990s. Incredibly, without normal home broadcasts and overall television brand awareness about the team, the Hawks averaged over 19,300 fans during the mid-1990s at the United Center. This is how it worked. WGN and other media outlets couldn't broadcast the Blackhawks games at the United Center. But if a national broadcasting network such as ESPN decided to telecast the game, a Blackhawk fan could purchase HawkVision, a subscription network worth $29.99 per month. Then you could watch the ESPN broadcast of Blackhawks vs. Red Wings at the United Center on normal cable television. It was pretty confusing, to be sure, and as you know, the internet wasn't big back then. If you were a big hockey fan and wanted to know about the Blackhawks, you either had to go to the game or wait for the hockey highlight on SportsCenter. Even then, hockey coverage wasn't big on ESPN, so it was in your best interest to purchase a ticket at the UC. So the fans kept supporting the Blackhawks even though they couldn't watch their favorite team on TV. However, the product on the ice wasn't so great. As if it were a curse from the hockey gods, the Hawks kept finding different ways to choke in the playoffs. An Original Six team, the Hawks were at one time the second most cursed Original Six franchise. The New York Rangers went titleless from 1940 until 1994, and the Hawks now find themselves in the same place as the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs and the Hawks have not hoisted Lord Stanley's Cup since the 1960s decade. For the Hawks, it's been even worse. They haven't won it all since 1961, and before that, Chicago went 23 years without hoisting the Cup. The Maple Leafs have been a borderline disaster since 1967, but at least the Leafs were a dynasty in the 60s. The Hawks were lucky to even win the 1961 Stanley Cup. So yeah, the Hawks have pretty much been mediocre or worse since 1961. However, there were moments when the franchise seemed destined for championship glory. The worst moment for Chicago hockey fans was the 1971 Stanley Cup Final against the hated Montreal Canadiens. Without air conditioning at Old Chicago Stadium, the Hawks were the home team during Game 7 of the Finals against the Canadiens. Jumping out to an early 2-0 lead, legendary netminder Tony Esposito couldn't stop Jacques Lamar's 60-foot-away snapshot, giving the Canadiens their first goal of the contest. Chicago Tribune writer Bob Verdi said there was a humid haze hung over the ice, but Esposito refused to blame the rink's lack of air conditioning on the soft goal he gave up. He had a point, since Lamar's shot was nearly from the center line. The Canadiens never looked back and scored twice more to upset the Hawks and win 3-2 on Chicago's home ice. Since then, the Hawks have never been closer to winning the Cup as they were that day in 1971. That is, until tonight anyway. As painful as it was in 1971, Hawks fans who were still alive in 1992 had to be devastated at what happened next to Ed Belfour and Dominik Hasek. Incredibly, Eddie the Eagle Belfour and Dominik the Dominator Hasek were both on the Blackhawks at the same time. Two future Hall of Fame goalies were both on the Hawks, and yet the franchise still couldn't win a Stanley Cup with either netminder. Belfour was the starter during the brief Belfour-Hasek years. The Hawks made the 1992 Stanley Cup championship round with Belfour and Hasek both on the roster. It was also a Chicago team with Chris Chelios leading the defenseman, and forward Jeremy Roenick was on this Hawks team as well. Led by captain Dirk Graham, the Hawks went on a very impressive winning streak in the playoffs. After falling to a 2-1 series deficit to the St. Louis Blues, the Hawks won their next 3 games against the Blues, as well as back-to-back series sweeps against the Detroit Red Wings and the Edmonton Oilers. Just like that, 11 consecutive victories saw the Blackhawks 4 wins away from ending up as the last team standing. The only team in their proverbial way, the NHL's version of the Super Mario Brothers, otherwise known as Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr. The Pittsburgh Penguins were the defending Cup champions, and after nearly beating the Washington Capitals in Game 7 during Round 1, the Pens found their way in the finals thanks to winning 8 of their last 10 games. Hasek was probably Chicago's better goalie entering the playoffs, as the Dominator earned all rookie honors and went 10-4-1 during his 15 starts between the pipes. Between a contract holdout from Belfour and Crazy Eddie missing games this season due to personal reasons, Hasek was turning into a fan favorite, while Belfour was the more controversial choice in net. However, head coach and general manager Mike Keenan stuck with Belfour throughout the playoffs, and he turned out to be the best goaltender in the postseason not named Tom Barrasso. The problem is Barrasso plays for Pittsburgh, so it was up to Roenick and company to find consistent offense against the Eastern Conference's best goalie. It looked like the Hawks had the Pens right where they wanted them when they took a 4-1 lead during Game 1. But the hockey gods haven't liked Chicago since 1961. Whenever the Hawks can blow a postseason lead during crunch time, they like to do it. The Pens scored 4 unanswered goals on their home ice, including the game winner with just 13 seconds left in OT. A crushing 5-4 loss for the Hawks, and they never rebounded from it. It was a sweep for the Pens as the Penguins celebrated their championship victory at Chicago Stadium. Hasek even showed during the series that he still had some raw rookie moments, but Belfour clearly wasn't himself. Hasek subbed in for Belfour in Game 4 after Eddie the Eagle gave up 2 goals on just 4 shots on goal. Keenan had a tough decision to make between keeping Hasek and Belfour, but with Belfour 1 year removed from winning the Vezina and Williams M. Jennings trophies for best goalie, Keenan had no choice but to allow Hasek to become expendable. The Sabres then cashed in on the young goalie's athleticism by fleecing the Hawks with a terrible trade request. The Sabres received a future Hall of Famer in Hasek, and the Blackhawks received just future draft considerations and a goalie in Stefan Beauregard, who never played a single minute in the goalie crease. The future draft considerations eventually led to the Hawks drafting Eric Daze in the 4th round. Daze became an all-star left winger, but serious back and herniated disc issues saw the team's promising winger limited to just 74 games in 3 seasons after his all-star game appearance in 2002. He retired after playing just 1 game in 2005. That being said, Keenan didn't want there to be a locker room controversy between Hasek and Belfour, and it's easy to say in hindsight when no one knew how great Hasek would become. Unfortunately, Belfour wouldn't even finish his career in Chicago. The Hawks were worried that he wouldn't re-sign with the team, so they shipped him off to San Jose for 3 players I personally never heard of until I Googled them. Ulf Dahlin, Michael Sikora, and Chris Terreri. Terreri was put in the very tough position of trying to fill Belfour's shoes in net, and he never got close to reaching Belfour's milestone achievements. Blackhawk fans kept asking themselves, is this team cursed? The 1999 Stanley Cup Final pitted Belfour against Hasek as the Dallas Stars took on the Buffalo Sabres. Belfour eventually won the Cup over Hasek in the series, although Hasek won more Cups than the Eagle once he began playing for the Red Wings. The Blackhawks managed just 1 more Western Conference Finals appearance with Belfour in net, and they wouldn't get back to the Western Conference Finals until last season. No one ever wishes someone to die, but success seemed to reach the Blackhawks once Bill Wirtz passed away from complications of cancer on September 26, 2007. His son, Rocky Wirtz, took over the team, and during their first season with Rocky as the CEO, the Hawks finished above 500 for the first time in 6 years. With John McDonough as the president and Joel Quenneville as the head coach, the Hawks made it back to the playoffs and finished in the Final Four. The Red Wings once again got in their way and easily took care of the Hawks 4-1 during the 2009 Western Conference Finals. Entering the 2009-10 season, the Hawks decided they need a veteran forward who could score goals and match up against their biggest rival, the Detroit Red Wings. Marian Hossa signed with the Blackhawks, giving the Hawks a formidable 1-2-3 punch on line 1 on Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Marian Hossa. That is, if they ever needed to use all three guys on the power play. The Hawks were a tough team to beat in 2010, and they finished just 1 point shy of the Western Conference leading Sharks, but the Hawks were the better team in the Western Conference Finals and swept the Sharks to make it to the Stanley Cup Final. Their opponent was an unlikely one, the Philadelphia Flyers. Entering the playoffs as a 7th seed, the Flyers had little title aspirations, but after the top-seeded Capitals were stunned in round 1 to the 8th-seeded Canadiens, there was new hope in Philly. The Flyers looked dead in the water when they trailed 3-0 in the Eastern Conference semifinals, but Simon Gagne returned for Game 4, and they definitely needed him as Gagne scored in overtime to force a Game 5. Brian Boucher was excellent as the Flyers starting goalie during Game 5, but he had to leave the game early due to knee injuries. As such, Michael Layton finished off Game 5 as the Flyers' new goalie and preserved the 4-0 shutout. Layton then got the start in Game 6 as expected, and he made the most of his opportunity by being perfect through 59 minutes until the Boston Bruins scored late. It was still a 2-1 win for the Flyers, and wouldn't you know it, the Flyers had a chance to win Game 7 and come back from an insurmountable 3-0 deficit. The Bruins actually led 3-0 in Game 7 at the TD Garden in Boston, but they simply couldn't avoid a significantly embarrassing collapse. James Van Riemsdyk, who didn't score a single goal in the playoffs prior to tonight, netted a very important goal late in the first period to give his teammates new life and ending the shutout attempt. The Flyers then scored 3 more unanswered goals to win a surprising 4-3 Game 7 over the Bruins, becoming just the 3rd team in NHL history to come back from a 3-0 series deficit. In fact, this had only been done once in any other American professional sport besides hockey. The Boston Red Sox defeated the New York Yankees 4-3 during the 2004 American League Championship Series. And now the Flyers are back in the Stanley Cup Final for the first time since 1997, looking for their first championship since 1975. The 1997 Stanley Cup Final was very interesting since it pitted the Flyers against the Red Wings, with both teams being in the Eastern Time Zone. The Flyers got swept in that series, with fans questioning if the franchise made the right decision all those years ago when they traded for former number 1 overall draft pick Eric Lindros. Lindros scored just once in that series against the Red Wings, and it cost the Flyers a lot just to acquire him. They sent the Quebec Nordiques 6 players, 2 first-round picks, and $15 million in cash for only Lindros. The Nordiques eventually moved to Colorado, with the future Hall of Famer in Forsberg helping the Colorado Avalanche win 2 Stanley Cup titles. What did Lindros contribute? Just 1 goal in his lone Stanley Cup final, and his constant bad luck of suffering concussions, he suffered 4 during his career in Philly, inevitably led to him being traded to the New York Rangers. The Lindros trade was a huge gamble for the Flyers, and it cost them much-needed role players they probably could have used during their playoff runs in the late 90s and early 2000s. However, the Flyers probably wouldn't even made it to the finals without Lindros in the lineup, so there's a lot of give and take when debating if Philly should have traded for the future Hall of Famer. In a weird twist of fate, the Rangers tried to trade for Lindros, which would have included goalie Mike Richter. Richter was huge down the stretch for the Rangers during the 1994 Stanley Cup Final, which they won, so Rangers fans are probably very happy with the trade with Philly that was finalized prior to the Rangers calling up the Nordiques. But the Flyers are finally back in the Stanley Cup Final, in large part due to the Flyers getting defenseman Chris Pronger in another blockbuster deal with Anaheim. It cost Philly 2 players and 2 first-round picks. History tells us that the Flyers love sacrificing the future for winning now, but this time around, it has paid its dividends in a big way. Pronger's 14 playoff assists have allowed the Flyers to be 1 goal away from forcing a Game 7 in Chicago, their closest to a title in 35 years. The trade for Pronger was definitely an immediate success. Layton's 3 shutouts in the Eastern Conference Finals prove that he deserves to be in the league, but is he a franchise goalie? Not so much. One of the reasons that the Blackhawks are a goal away from the title is Layton can't recreate his magic from the previous round. In fact, Boucher relieved him in Game 2 and Game 5 due to erratic play, but head coach Peter Laviolette decided to stick with Layton in this pivotal Game 6. And to be honest, the Flyers felt comfortable about tonight. Both of their wins in the series were at home, and with the Hawks being led by 2 players under the age of 25 in Kane and Taves, they don't have a lot of experience in this pressure situation. It's up to former number 1 overall draft pick Patrick Kane and Captain Taves to finish off the Flyers. Otherwise, it's back to Chicago for a winner-go-home Game 7, and Blackhawk fans know all too well how that panned out back in '71. All the pressure is really on the Hawks to close out Philly. They brought in Host to be that veteran leader when crap starts to hit the fan come playoff time. and he's been very meh in the playoffs. The star of the series has arguably been the former Flyer in Patrick Sharp, who entered tonight's overtime session of 4 goals, 2 assists, and a plus-minus of... Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another production of Sports Broadcast Solutions. I'm Kyle Smith, alongside my partner in crime and friend, Brandon Januska, for another production of SBS. This time around, Brandon, it's the Chicago Nation FC team taking on Indy Gladiators Soccer Club. Winner advances to the round of 16, loser go home. The winner today would claim the Midwest Central Division title. Of course, Chicago Nation has won the last 2. They went to the national semifinals last fall. This fall, they're looking to win the championship.
Yeah, a lot at stake here today on a chilly evening, but a great opportunity for them to advance and just keep that winning streak going. A chance to make it 3 straight against Indy.
Indy was actually the underdog. They were the last team to get in. It was only a 4-team tournament. With the semifinal, they knocked off Berber last night. They were supposed to play last week, but because of a rainout, you got to rent out these fields, partner. It's semi-pro, so sometimes it's hard to get fields days in advance. So they had to play last night. How is that going to factor into today's game in terms of tiredness, tired legs, playing up against a team in Chicago Nation FC that hasn't played in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, Chicago has the advantage in that aspect because they are coming in well rested and not fatigued at all. But it could also play the other way too, in that sometimes if you're off for too long, it can work to a disadvantage as well. Not that will be the case here today, but just a chance to have the hot team in Indy coming off a win. They're feeding off that momentum, so it could play either way. But I'd definitely take the extra day's rest if I had the choice.
Yeah, if I was a betting man too, I would definitely pick Chicago Nation FC to get the victory. They're playing a team that's very tired, Indy Gladiators SC. They drove today from Indianapolis as they drove back home with that win against Berber City. So a lot of driving the last couple of days. Got a whole night's of rest after playing last night. Drove back to Indianapolis, got some sleep, then got into town today around noon, 1 o'clock-ish, and then got to the stadium around 3. So they're definitely exhausted, but this is a team that they weren't supposed to be your partner, but they knocked out the number 1 seed. And anytime you knock off the number 1 seed, people are going to be watching you, and people are going to be intently looking at the game film to see why you knocked the number 1 seed off.
Definitely, and it's one of those things, you're coming in as the underdog, all the bets, everything's against you. So coming in, tired legs, you're coming in off a long drive and everything, it's all working against you, but it was working against you to knock off the number 1 seed too. So they've been the underdog, they've been in this situation before, so the pressure won't get to them in that aspect because they've been here.
It's a 4-man referee crew today as the winner advances to the national round of 16. Chicago Nation FC looking to do it 3 in a row. In fact, they played 3 different teams in the round of 32 to get to the round of 16. Last spring, they knocked off Bavarian United. And partner, that was a Bavarian team that drove from Milwaukee for the championship game, and they almost knocked off Chicago Nation FC right here at Ackerman Park. Chicago Nation scored late with some bench players entering the game on the offensive side of the ball. They won. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but don't be surprised. This is a Chicago Nation FC team. They're known for playing well at the end of the game, but the first 15 or 20 minutes or so, they're a little bit shaky.
Yeah, that's the key right now. If you're Indy, you want to get off to a hot start before Chicago can really settle in. You want to start off strong and see if you can take advantage of Chicago. They know that they're coming in with tired legs and everything, so if you're Chicago, you want to come off to a hot start. But if you're Indy, you could take advantage possibly being the underdog, and if you can strike first, you can have Chicago playing on their heels.
Nobody likes playing in the cold, partner, but there is no wind resistance today. So it's one of those interesting days, mid-November, no wind resistance. The only thing that's against you is the cold. And, of course, last night with Indy playing last night against Berber City, some tired legs. But, partner, you can play your normal soccer game today because there is no wind resistance.
You definitely can. There's no wind, like you said, to affect and alter in that way. So it's just keeping warm. And they've had plenty. Both teams have been out here warming up and everything. They're bundling bundled up. So I think the cold, it'll affect more so if you're the goalies. You want to keep warm, and if you're not active, you'll see them possibly pacing back and forth or jumping around just when the ball's on the other side of the field. Just keep yourself warm, keep yourself loose is the biggest key here when you're playing in the cold. But like you said, no wind is definitely an advantage for both these teams in this game.
No sport is fun to play in the cold, but if I had to pick one, it'd probably be soccer because you don't have to use your hands unless you're the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper is only going to have about 5 saves today. So keep your hands warm if you're the goalkeepers. Other than that, your hands get cold, not a big deal because you're using your head, chest, and knees and legs.
That's true, although if you're using your head, it will feel more like a brick if it's coming in. I've played soccer, I played in high school, and these cold days, you don't want to necessarily take it to the head.
Well, it's the round of 32, so if you lose, you go home. So kind of all bets are off type of mentality.
You'll take the risk here today,
at the same time, are we going to see any headers in the first 5-10 minutes? Probably not unless it's off a corner kick. We're going to take a break, and the broadcast coming up next between Indy Gladiators and Chicago Nation FC here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. At SBS, we offer a professional broadcasting experience for the non-professional athlete. Just like the pros, we offer everything for you. Play-by-play commentary.
A no-hitter at Kane County Stadium. 15 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 error, and that's it.
Color commentary, highlight reels, recruiting videos, and much, much more. Unlike our competitors, we zoom in on the action and always have a live scoreboard with a live time code. If you're ready to have your next sporting event feel like CBS Sports, then make sure to call Sports Broadcast Solutions today. Our phone number is 330-957-7653, or you can go online to sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. But my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Good evening, everybody. National Anthem about to start in about 60 seconds from now. Here are some of the members of each team, brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. Starting for the home team, Chicago Nation FC, Miguel Fierro, the outside back. Isaac Sutton, another back. Emmanuel Lopez playing wing and striker. Sergei Wyzim at center back, number 5. Number 6, Nick Klabjan at center defensive midfielder. Number 7, Lucas Solka, a forward. Number 8, Will Butler. Number 9, Elias McLeod. Number 10, Reed Strain. Number 11, Alex Fillion. Number 13, Jed McLeod. He's going to be playing center midfielder today. Number 14, Bowen McLeod. Number 15, Heath Martin. Number 16, Leo Toledo. Number 17, Jasminko Dizdarevich. Number 18, Matt Budrek. Number 20, Akim Saraji. And number 21, Sasa Labovich. Starting for the away team, the Indy Gladiators Soccer Club. Number 2, Wilmer Giacomi. Number 4, Jackson Campbell. Number 5, Kelly Klein. Number 6, Rodrigo Roman Gabu. Number 7, Jan Smith. Number 8, Victor Mejia Sanchez. Number 9, William Finch. Number 10, Christian Bonilla. Number 11, Levi Wandaye. And the national anthem about to start right now. So join us right after this for the beginning of Indy Gladiators against Chicago Nation FC. Tilt. All right, it's time to play ball. Well, that's what they say in baseball anyway. It's time to play some football. It's Indy Gladiators SC against Chicago Nation FC. Winner advances to the round of 16. Loser, go home. And it's a long drive, partner, if Indianapolis loses. It's a long 3 hours. Sometimes it feels like 4 hours when you lose a championship game like this.
Yeah, it definitely feels a lot better if you're able to come off a win making that drive back. And they have a tall task ahead of them, but they've been able to do it before, playing against difficult teams, being the lower seed and knocking off the top seed already. So they have momentum on their side. Chicago's got the home field advantage, though.
The Indy Gladiators are in the orange and black. Their goalkeeper, well, he's still in the huddle. For Chicago Nation FC, they'll be wearing the white and blue, except for their goalkeeper. He'll be wearing the red. That's Austin Salazar. They've got two goalies on this roster, whereas Indy Gladiators, they just stick with their netminder between the pipes, and that's William Schwing. Jasminko Dizarevich, the man to watch for in this match. That's number 17, right at center field. Right at midfield, he scored in the International Classic, and he was the first Chicago Nation player to ever score in international soil.
Yeah, Chicago Nation able to play down in Mexico just this past week, and so much different temperature-wise coming back home to Chicago.
You'd be surprised, partner. It can get pretty cold depending on what part of Mexico you're in, but usually not as cold as Chicago. It gets cold in Dallas, like the Leon Lett game. That was during a snowstorm.
That is true.
In Dallas. Nuts. .45-minute halves. They will play about 3 minutes of extra time. We do have to have a winner today, so it will be goal kicks if it's 0-0 or any type of tie after 90-plus minutes of soccer action. Not a bad crowd today, partner, considering it's in the low 30s today.
Yeah, a lot of people burst out the blankets and the lawn chairs, and they're out there on the far side of the field. Across from us.
As long as it's not windy. You know what my dad used to do at Old Soldier Field? He used to bring an old piece of carpet, and then you put your feet on the carpet so that your feet don't get cold.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like you're watching a game indoors, but you're outdoors at Soldier Field. Well, here we go. Winner advances to the championship game. Loser, well, the round of 16. This is the championship game for the Midwest Central Division. Out to the sideline, played by Chicago Nation, and they'll get it back to Salazar, who will kick it out to the other boundary. Early on, and the Gladiators taking it to him on the offensive end. Trying to send it through, and it's stolen away by Indy. It's going to be played by Bonilla as he'll send it out near the corner. And a slide tackle defensive play, as was well played that time by Sergei Wazern. Overhead pass coming up. And it's a one-hopper right to the head of a Chicago Nation defender. Kick and a good block, as was blocked that time by McLeod. Goes wide, and it'll be played by Salazar. So, partner, we talked about in the broadcast, it's deja vu all over again as Chicago Nation FC look a little sluggish to start this one off.
Indy came out right away with a lot of speed and got the early throw in as well. Chicago Nation now with a chance to respond.
First things first, love to see him get the ball past midfield. That time they do, but... And the call might be offside, and it is against Chicago Nation. Well, partner, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, but maybe one of these days we'll see Chicago Nation FC take it to the other team right from the get-go. Good kick, sends it near the goalie box, and Indy goes after it. It might be a corner for Indy, and it is. Fusang Thangval will take the corner.
So an early opportunity here for Indy getting an early corner kick.
Partner, it's one of those days you think it's going to be tougher to kick considering it's cold. That foot doesn't feel too good when you're kicking in the cold like this. So goals are going to be hard to come by. An early opportunity, and this could be the game. Corner kick, and it's played out by Chicago. Good job getting it back, though, as they recover. But it's kicked out of bounds that time by Gold.
Yeah, just weren't able to find anyone on that corner kick, so now goal kick coming for Chicago and try to counter.
What are you seeing from Chicago, partner? They're having a trouble getting it out.
They haven't been able to really maintain possession so far, see if they can get it off of this corner, and nope, right back to Indy. So they just haven't maintained possession in the early going, and now a chance to make a run.
2-on-1 early on, and a potential breakaway, but offside. And a huge break for Indy there, partner, as it looked like a 2-on-1 and a potential breakaway off the pass, but he was offside.
Yeah, and so far, yeah, I mean, it's still early, but by far the best opportunity for Chicago on the counter.
Their only opportunity, like 75% of this first 3 minutes has been in the end of Chicago Nation.
Yeah, haven't been able to maintain possession, and now the offside gives it right back to Indy.
Yeah, the passing for Indy has definitely been crisper in these first 3 minutes. On the boundary, lead pass, but read well by Chicago. Tried to kick it back to Salazar, but had no choice but to kick it to himself, and then passes out to the sideline. Give and go play, but read well by Indy as they'll play it on the sideline. Drops it off and called by the Sir. Was out of bounds. Chicago ball. It's a beautiful park at Ackerman. We got a lot of trees with the leaves off. Got the orange and red color with some green. It's beautiful here. Partner, as cold as it is, soccer was always meant to be played outdoors. I'm not a big indoor soccer fan.
I'm torn on that. I do agree that soccer is better to be outdoors, especially when you're playing 11-on-11. I was a fan of playing indoors, though, when I used to play it, especially as a goalie, just because you get more action.
Yeah, you do. And you see some board plays. It's almost like a hockey game sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. But I definitely agree. Traditional soccer, you're 11-on-11, definitely meant for outdoors.
And it's like the complete opposite. As much as I love outdoor hockey, it's just meant to be indoors.
Yep.
Dizdarevich will have the free kick. He's probably too far, partner, to try to kick it straight through.
Yeah, you're going to use this almost like a corner, but straight on, and try to see if you can get it off the head of one of your guys.
Gets it in front. And good idea, but really, partner, that was excellent played by Indy to get out of the way of that and make sure to not screen their goalie.
Yeah, make sure that he can get a clear view of it, and Chicago's just unable to make the touch that they needed on that play.
Sometimes part of a play like that, maybe on offense, you try to take it off the chest and then kick it into the goal in one fluid motion. Obviously a lot easier said than done, but from that distance, hard to ricochet in. Stolen away, and Chicago looking for a yellow. Brandon, it could go either way. I think it was incidental contact. I don't think that's a yellow card.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think there will be a card on this one, but an early injury, not a good sign for Chicago starting off.
They're not going to call the yellow, but that's it. It's a warning. And good sportsmanship by 1-Yee. Hate to see it, partner, in a championship game like this, but injuries are going to happen. Reed Strain was the injured player for Chicago. As good job keeping in that time by Martin, then kick straight up. Played well by Indy that time. It was Reyes. And it'll be played out of bounds. Heath Martin on the overhead pass, then played well by Wazern. And now out back into the Chicago end. So a little bit shaky for Chicago to start it off, but they played a little bit better these last 2 minutes.
And the score is still scoreless, so no loss at this point. You score first and everything changes.
I mean, it seems like one of those games prior it's going to be 1-0. I just don't see 3 total goals being scored. Dizdarevich calls forward and gets it. Then a lead pass out to Martin on the corner, looks for Dizdarevich, and then kicked out by Indy. It'll be an overhead pass for Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago will get the throw in on Indy's side. So a nice ball there to push it out a little further toward the corner and then try to make a cross. Indy just cleared it out of bounds.
Butler got it back after the give and go play, but Indy steals it. Good play. That's great job by Butler. Lead pass to Dizdarevich. Did he stay on side? He did. Dizdarevich tries to play to himself. And it was blown dead by the Sir. Kind of a touchy call, partner, but he might have gotten him on the hip.
So another opportunity for Chicago.
You don't have to kick it straight through. If you can get somebody that's behind you, you kick it to them and try to, get that one-timer on net.
This will be a tough angle to make it from, unless you can find a way to angle it toward the far post. That's what you would look for from a shot, and even from a cross, you're looking far post and see if someone can run onto it. Or, like you said, you can even pass it back to one of the guys a little further back and see if they can just drill it straight in. But if I'm him, I'm looking far post, see if someone can run onto it.
Like you said, partner, it's going to be not a fun day to be heading it, but hey, you gotta find a way to advance some way, somehow. And by the way, it's in a cold day like this, the colder it gets, it's going to be harder to catch that ball for the goalkeeper. Good shot. Barely saved by Schwing. We'll have a corner coming up. Partner, what do you think he should have done there? It was definitely going to go wide, it looked like. Maybe try to let that go wide, or was it too close a call to say?
Yeah, on a day like this where one goal could make the difference, you got to at least play that ball. So right call, and it just goes for a corner, and now another opportunity for Chicago. But decided to go near post instead of far post.
Trying to clear it, but they have to clear it up the middle and then kick straight up. Now about 20 meters away from the goal. They'll play advantage. Indy will play it at midfield. So Indy looked good the first 3 minutes, and then, as we've seen usually with Chicago Nation FC, after the first 3 minutes, they play a lot better. And it's been all Chicago Nation since the first 3 minutes. Dizdarevich plays it. Out to the sideline to Martin, and then sent back to defense. Now Salazar will play it. Out near midfield, Gladiators steal. A lot of action early on. Still no score, though. Chicago winning the advantage in terms of free and corner kicks. The full name for both teams is Chicago Nation Football Club and the Indianapolis Gladiators Soccer Club. Gladiators like to go by Indy, and Chicago Nation likes to go by Chi Nation. Almost from midfield where this free kick will be. It's a little pooch kick up in the air and still in play. Who touched it last? Chi Nation says that they didn't touch it, but we're going to see a corner.
Yeah, they thought that they had that one boxed out. They actually bodied Indy to let that ball go out, thinking it would be a goal kick, and the refs thought otherwise.
Good things can happen when you get it near the net. Only bad thing can happen is they just clear it. So they get it on net, and we're close to the net, and it was last touched by Chi Nation. They clear it, now 10 meters away from the net. There's a little tap kick that time by McLeod, then sent straight up. And looked like some body placement by Indy on the hip before the ball was at the leg of either an Indy or Chi Nation player. And it'll be a free kick coming up for Chi Nation. Chi Nation still deep in their own end, though, as it's played now by Wazern. You don't want to play too cute with it that deep in your own end, partner, but they're able to get it out. Good pass and no choice but to just kick it out. Playing at that time was Gold, and it'll be a give and go play by Chi Nation. Straight through, but Indy sees it and clears it. Chi Nation will reset and now played at midfield. It's played by Wazern. And that might have been out of bounds. We'll play on. Now played by Bonilla. Had it briefly was Navarra. Now at midfield. Good lead pass delivered that time by Thangval. And here comes Indy. Indy with it. Stolen away by Chi Nation. Beautiful steal. Looking to clear, but still on the attack is Gladiators. Lead pass. Chi Nation steals. Now sent up to midfield. It's played that time by Dizdarevich. Dizdarevich calls for it. On his left foot, sends it to the right. Great move by Dizdarevich. Out in front, Gladiators see it and clear. Navarra plays it, trying to keep it in, he does. And great job playing it off the body of midfield. Chi Nation steals, another good play by Wazern. He's given them great minutes starting today. Wazern, great lead pass, chance, Dizdarevich, and a great play from behind. Excellent play from behind, partner. Looked like it was going to be a wide open shot on net.
Yeah, a couple of great balls there from Chicago to set up some opportunities, just unable to get them in. Definitely playing a lot stronger now, though, than they started.
14 minutes in, and Chi Nation has the edge in terms of corner kicks and free kicks. All that matters, though, in a game like this, single elimination, just the scoreboard. We appreciate Auntie Gigi and Sammy Jazz watching today. 46 watching right now in terms of concurrent viewers. It's a long drive, partner. As much as you love your son or you're the girlfriend of one of the players, it's a long drive from Indianapolis.
Definitely. So having this service available, definitely an advantage.
Then again, watching this game, probably more fun than that Indianapolis Colts game today.
You got that right. It's been a rough season so far.
I still can't believe I like Jeff Saturday, but I still can't believe that they did that.
Yeah, you're sending a sad sign out to your fans by hiring a coach with no experience at this point. You're essentially saying you're cashing it in.
What I was surprised by, as Indianapolis will play it deep in the end of Chicago Nation, shot, and it's very wide. Salazar will have a goal kick coming up. And I was surprised that some of the coaches didn't resign. Because could you imagine being an assistant for 20 years in the NFL, never getting your head coaching position? And then Jeff Saturday, with just a couple of years of high school head coaching experience, gets the NFL head coaching job?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it definitely ruffled some feathers out there in that organization.
It's going to get colder into the second half, but like I said, the wind is not a factor, so not much of a wind chill today. It's just a dry November day. And what happened, partner, was like in the 70s a couple days ago.
Yeah, the shift came all of a sudden, and now it's supposed to stay this way for at least the next couple of weeks. And the chill just arrived out of nowhere.
Good lead pass, but the Gladiators see it all the way. Lead pass by the Gladiators. And great job playing it as Navarro. And he just tries to center it, but no one home. Chi Nation will play it. They're on the attack with a full head of steam. Good give and go play on the sideline. Set up in front. Shot in the net. Chi Nation scores and strikes first. What a setup in front. They start off sluggish, partner, but a goal, and he's not on the roster.
Yeah, just a great ball to set that up from the far side of the box and able to beat the keeper for the first goal of the game. And like you said, you may have had the disadvantage early on in the game, but when it comes down to it, you struck first, and you can forget about all of that. Now you just have to keep playing, and you have a lead.
Sure do, partner. 1-0 Chi Nation, number 12, not on the roster. Oh, that was Dizdarevich. It looks like a. See, they need to get a straight 7 because it looks like a 12. It was Dizdarevich. Well, he scored the first ever goal for Chi Nation playing in international waters, and he scores the first goal in the round of 32. Well, you can't panic if you're Indy, partner, but that one hurts because a day like this, you knew going in 1-0 would probably be the final score. Now you either got to win 2-1 or you got to win on goal kicks to advance to the round of 16.
Yeah, at this point, you're looking for the equalizer and try to get it as soon as you can. Get some momentum back going your way, as Indy had the early advantage in terms of possession, but Chicago kind of starting to take over a bit.
Lead pass and read well that time by Wazern. And now open spacing for Indy. Resets, left-footed kick in front, and Chi Nation reads it well. Dizdarevich with the goal. Partner, Salazar hasn't had to do much, as even though that Indy's had it deep in the territory of Chi Nation, the defense has recovered and makes sure no shots on net.
Yeah, they've had the possession, they've gotten down there, even had a few corner kicks, but they haven't been able to connect and actually get themselves a prime shooting opportunity to really challenge the keeper.
Sends it over to Martin. Then Martin delivers it in front as he finds Strain. Now out to the sideline. We'll monitor Strain as the game continues. Remember, he took a hard hit near the hamstring early on in the first half. Kicked out of bounds. Was it deflected? Doesn't look like it. And it'll be a goal kick for the netminder from Indy.
That was a nice ball early on just to switch the field for Chicago, and then just unable to find someone home on the following cross. So it ends up a goal kick for Indy.
Out of bounds. And last touch by Shy Nation. Yeah, you're right, partner. You'd like to tie this one up right before halftime. Because not only do you have to score to tie the game, but you really don't want to go into, penalty kicks.
Yeah, you don't want to bring it to overtime. You don't want to have to worry about PKs at all. So you'd like to win it in regulation if you can, and that goes for both teams. You'd like to keep it in regulation. And if you're Chicago, you would love to add another goal, give yourself some insurance.
And I don't know about you, partner, but penalty kicks, when you're not playing at a neutral site, this is Shy Nation's home. It's where they practice, where they play most of their home games. They know this turf more than Indy does. So I think if it went to penalty kicks, the advantage would be for Shy Nation. And another penalty. Shy Nation are arguing yellow cards, but partner, I think that was a clean play. I mean, it's a penalty, obviously, but definitely not a yellow card.
Yeah, no card on that one, just the foul. So they'll get the free kick and move on.
You got to find a way to steal that ball. Obviously, you don't want to commit yellow cards, but you're going to see some penalties today. You're going to be as aggressive as possible on the slide tackles and try to steal that ball, but avoid the penalties if you can.
Yeah, sometimes you go for the ball, you take a little too much player, or you miss the ball altogether. It's a foul, but like we've seen, no card. And if you're Indy, you definitely can't afford a card.
Dizdarevich already scored in this game. Good kick out in front. And it looks like it was last touched by Indy, so they're going to try to get it out. Great job played by Navarra to avoid the corner as he kicks it straight out of bounds.
Yeah, just a great effort there to make it a throw instead of a corner kick. Some of these guys have a good arm as well, so it's still possible you can get that throw into the box and set yourself up for something.
Now the strategy comes into play for Shy Nation as we get closer to the 45th minute. Will Shy Nation play conservative at the end of the half, as it's another kick out of bounds by Indy?
Right now, Chicago, they have the advantage. They're in Indy's end. I think you keep pushing. You put your foot to the gas pedal, and you try to get that second goal here.
Lead pass, and played by Strain. And now kicked all the way back to Salazar. That's a big boy between the pipes, partner. It's hard to tell if that's a goalie or a linebacker. It's a tall net, so in theory you want to have that really tall goalkeeper, and Austin Salazar definitely fits the bill for that title.
Yeah, you definitely want a great wingspan if you're a keeper.
But lacrosse, they have the smaller net, so you can have any kind of goalkeeper you want. But soccer with that tall net, the taller the better when it comes to your goalie. Shy Nation looking to make it 2-0. They're on the attack again. And kick straight out. Good job playing it by Gold. He's been great on defense today, as has Navarra. I'd say the passing has been a little bit crisper from Indy, but Shy Nation's done more with their advantages on the offensive end and their opportunities. Might have been a handball, no call. Right off the head, and Shy Nation goes on the attack. 2-on-2 if they maintain possession, and they do. Hesitation move. Good lead pass. Was he onside? Shot, save. Great job by Schwing, but even better job staying onside by Will Butler.
That was a good ball to set up that opportunity. Wasn't able to get a whole lot on the shot, And the goalie able to come up with a relatively easy save on that one.
Yeah, he was in an in-between spot where he thought he might be offside, so he wanted to make sure that, well, he wasn't in front of the last defender. And he didn't have like a full head of steam for that kick. So are they calling offside now, or is just a regular goal kick?
So they'll just resume play. So it'll be the goalie's ball from the save, and that was basically just warnings for some extracurriculars. So no fouls, just some warnings for both sides, and a lot of chatter going back and forth, even on the sidelines from the coaches.
Yeah, because he was definitely onside. Meanwhile, bodies flying all over the place. I think that was clean, though, partner. Just people falling down, no flag. I mean, penalty. Out to the boundary. Out in front, and played well by Indy.
Yeah, you get an emotional situation here with an elimination game. Both teams giving it their all, and sometimes a play or you hit a guy and they take a little bit more offense to it than they would typically.
Throw in to Shy Nation. A goal here would be a killer for Indy, and it would practically be the game ender. Meanwhile, Indy steals it, and they're looking to tie it. Stolen by Shy Nation. And they're really starting to get into the heads of Indy right now. You can see the frustration. You can hear it from the players from Indy. It's hard, partner. They've had their opportunities, but they haven't been able to capitalize, and now they trail 1-0.
Yeah, at this point you want to just finish the first half strong. And Chicago trying to make a run and really put a dagger into Indy. But if you're Indy, you just want to finish strong. See if you can get a counter, because Chicago has had the advantage here the last few minutes. But see if you can get a counter if you can. If not, go back, regroup during the half, and come out strong. And still plenty of time in the first half.
Set up in front. Header chance. And offside against Shy Nation. They have issued a warning to Levi Wondayi as another penalty would be a yellow card. Back out to Navarra as Navarra sends it straight up. You got to remember, this is an Indy team that's probably dead tired from last night, had to knock off the #1 seed. All they got to do, though, partner, at least score once to force extra time or the penalty kicks. Send it up to Dizdarevich, the intended target, but it was stolen away by Indy. Out at the boundary. Kicked away, and they keep it in, do the Gladiators. Great play that time by Butler, and stolen away. Strain might have gotten a hand to the face, but it was inadvertent contact. And now Shy Nation will play it in their own territory. Butler on his right foot, stolen away. And another penalty coming up. Christian Bonilla holding his knee. Well, you're pretty far from the net, partner, for a free kick, so what do you want to do here?
Yeah, you're not taking a shot from all the way out here. Just inside Chicago's end. At this point, you're looking for a cross, and you're looking for something that can be played on in the box. So you'll get those kick into the box and see if you can head something on. You could even possibly look at number 11 on the far side and see if he can make a play. He's got some space on the near end rather.
Free kick coming up. And way too much out of Parter. That's not good. If you're going to do that, you got to get it on net, or it's got to hit some body part.
Yeah, that was just a waste of a play right there. You just kicked that one away and gave it right back to Chicago.
You know, you don't want it to get stolen right away, but hey, you get it towards the net, anything can happen. When you go too high like that, it was just a wasted opportunity. And it's a break for Chi Nation. Now they have a chance to have the goalie kick and reset their offense. Go straight through, and it's going to be a foul against Indy.
Yeah, clipped his leg instead of the ball. Good call on the foul. And Chicago with a chance to get numbers up there, but it also allows Indy a chance to get their defense set before the Chicago kick right around midfield.
If you're just joining us, Dizdarevich, he has the goal that is the deciding factor right now. And he has a jersey that looks like 12 sometimes. He's got that weird wavy 7 on the back of his jersey. And maybe a touch from behind on the hip, but I like that not being called. We play on. And played by Strain now to the boundary. Chi Nation with numbers. This is played by Skolka. Stolen away by the Gladiators, then kicked away to the sideline on the right foot. Lead pass, stolen away by Strain, and he kicks it out. Now come the Gladiators.
Yeah, that's a good play for Chicago, just to allow your numbers to get back there on defense.
Gladiators trailing by 1. They've had their opportunities. They were the better team for the first 3 or so minutes, but after that, it's been Chi Nation. Another possible handball, but they don't call. Navarra, who's given them great minutes on the defensive end, not so much offensively. And he goes 5-hole and maintains possession. Swing pass. As he tried to set up in front, no one home. Stolen away by Gladiators. Left-footed kick just goes wide. Whew, that was close.
And that would be the best look that Indy has had so far in this game.
That might have been a game-changing kick. All you got to do is score twice. Doesn't matter how you do it. That one's blocked. And might have an injury. Slow to get up is an Indy Gladiator player. Chi Nation looking to clear. And kept in by the Gladiators. Playing it on the turf was Butler, stolen away by the Gladiators. Playing was Thongval. He's been their go-to guy on corners today. Now out to Wandaya. Out to Navarra on the right foot and kicked out that time by Martin. Still at the right sideline. Seems like it's been a quick game, partner. We haven't seen a lot of free kicks and corners in this first half.
There was a point, maybe a 5-minute stretch where things were starting to get heated a little bit, a few fouls in there. But yeah, overall, it's been a fairly clean game.
Stolen away by Navarra. As they set it up in front, stolen away. Butler trying to play it. Butler on his right foot. Got a little cute with it. Might have gone off his elbow, no call. We play on. Both teams have not gone to the bench yet, and you expect them to not go to the bench until late in the second half. In fact, I don't see any Gladiator players that are dressed. We see them with hoodies right now getting warmed up. The discipline's been good, too, by Chi Nation. As that's straight through. Salazar, great catch by Salazar. One-handed grab and then brought it into his body.
Able to come up and just if you have a chance to get your hands on that ball, you want to do it and not allow anything to happen for Indy. Just kill that chance right there.
I guess the only negative of a really tall goalie partner is they're more susceptible to giving up low goals as they're typically less athletic. So for Indy, probably go low on some of those shots.
Yeah, you want to try to go low and hard, but I mean, these goalies, when you get to this level here, they're agile enough and quick enough with those dives that it's still no easy task.
Set up in front, Dizdarevich again. Was it in the box? I think it was in the box, partner.
And that is close. It does appear to be, so we might have a PK coming up, a penalty, and a big chance for Chicago.
Can't have it, partner. I know what they're trying to do. You don't want to allow a shot on net at point-blank range like that, but a PK at this level is almost just an automatic goal.
Yeah, advantage is always on the for the goalie, or for the kicking team, and so really that's where the pressure is too. So when I was a goalie in high school, you always say, well, there's no real pressure on you because it's expected to be a goal. So really the pressure is on the striker who's trying to put it in, as they're going to have to make sure they get a clean shot. Don't go wide, don't go up. And as a goalie, you're just trying to guess, you're trying to predict and dive the right direction to make a save. But a big opportunity here for Chicago to try to make it a 2-goal game.
This could be the game if he scores. PK takes his time. Into the net. Goal for Shy Nation. Anybody can kick it. I thought that Dizdarevich was the one that got hit. But they go to their other forward, and he delivers for Shy Nation. 2-0 in favor of the home team. And it looked like Bowen McLeod, number 14, is the one they chose to score, and he scored for them.
That's a tough blow for Indy. Still early, though. We're still in the first half, so there's still plenty of time. As Chicago's head coach calls out 0-0 to White. Try to remind them, hey, don't get cocky just because you have a 2-goal game. Still plenty of time to play.
Well, now for Indianapolis, now you just got to find a way to score twice and just hope that you can get it done on the PKs and overtime. But I just don't see Indianapolis scoring twice on Salazar.
Yeah, it's a tough task, definitely. But at this point, you just want to try to get one. Just focus on that next goal. Get that first goal in, and if you can, get it before the half. It'd be much better going in down just 1 to halftime than looking at this 2-goal deficit. So you just want to find a way, if you're Indy, to swing momentum back into your favor. As Chicago's controlled the game these last 10 or so minutes.
Good lead pass, but lost possession. They tried to get it over to Emmanuel Lopez. And you know, it's so crazy with these 7s. I can't tell if it's a 7 or a 2. I don't think I've ever seen a jersey like that. Well, Bowen McLeod made it 2-0. Dizdarevich got rid of the shutout. And that's where we stand right now. Dizdarevich really the player of the game, as his mere presence led to both goals. He scored to make it 1-0, and then they kicked it to him in front. He had a point-blank range shot. He was tripped up from behind, led to Bowen McLeod kicking home the 2-0 goal.
And that's what playmakers do. The stars come out, and that's what you do. You make the plays. You set your
ball
teammates
loose in
up.
front. Oh, what a play. My goodness, what a play that was, but they're saying that it touched the hand. Well, we've got YouTube Live, so I'm going to check that, but I don't think it touched the hand, partner. So here it is. Yeah, that's off the knee. That's no handball. But close, but no cigar, no handball in the box. Well, we were wondering if Indy's going to score in this game. They had another opportunity. The goalkeeper was out of the box. But great job, heads-up defense, being there for his goalie and got a piece of it off the knee to deflect it out.
Now Chicago trying to counter.
Well, they don't need any more goals, although it would be nice. And was that a push? It's definitely a foul. I don't know. If you call a yellow on that, some of the other stuff should have been yellow, so I don't think they're going to call a yellow on that.
Just
so.
Traditional foul on Chicago.
This is a really good sportsmanship league. You'll very rarely see just a blatant push down to the turf. By the way, over 41 minutes left. Your favorite soccer memory, the text line's open, 330-957-7653. And I know that the coaching staff for Chi Nation, led by AJ Ostrowski, is not a happy partner. See, the problem with that, though, is if you call a card, then everything chippy and close, you're going to have to call cards going forward.
Yeah, and I do get his argument is that there have been warnings issued, and the fouls continue, so he just wants them to follow up on those warnings.
But I do understand why they haven't called it, because if you call a yellow now, then you've pretty much anything close to what you called has to be a yellow going forward.
Yes. Unless it's like a repeat offense on someone. But yeah, once you set that standard, you have to follow through and keep that going through the rest of the game.
And Salazar will pick it up. Now with over 42 minutes into the first half, place like this, Salazar can just kick it straight out, but he won't now because his team's got 2 more minutes left of soccer action. Don't go anywhere. The post-game show brought to you by SBS follows. Still have a lot of soccer left, but if this continues, we'll either have McLeod or Dizdarevich in the post-game show. This is a Chi Nation team. They just don't give up a lot of goals. We had them earlier in the year, and they actually tied Indy Gladiators 0-0. The championship they won against Bavarian, that was a 1-0 win that they won in regulation. And really just, there's a reason why Chi Nation, partner, is the higher seed, because it's showing today why Chi Nation played in the 2-3 game and the Gladiators were the last seed to get in. I mean, it's just been the better team winning right now.
They definitely have been. After a slow start, they've really picked it up, but an opportunity here for Indy.
Headed out, and that's got to be a foul. Oh, boy. Well, they've had a good job officiating today, partner, but they missed that one. That wasn't a yellow, but it was definitely a foul.
Yeah, it definitely looked like there was contact there. A break for Chicago, who now get to counter.
I mean, it's almost game-changing because it would have been a foul with a free kick coming up about 20 feet away. I mean, maybe more like 30 feet. And they would have had a chance for a shot on net, or at least a redirection. Chi Nation looking to put this one on ice. Indy steals it. Now at the sideline. Great slide tackle of Steele. McLeod plays it up to midfield by Butler, who's given them great minutes today. Look at that no-look kick, but no one was home to retrieve it, and then stolen away by Gladiators. Kick straight up. Gladiators get it right off the body and then played on the right foot. Out to near the boundary, Navarra will play it. Navarra breaks through the D and then kicked out. Corner coming up. It's over 45 minutes, but still have plenty of time to score here on this corner. Your favorite soccer memory? Text it to 330-9557-7653. 330-957-7653. Your favorite high school, college, or professional soccer memory? That includes the World Cup. That will do it for the first half. So the header pass off the corner goes wide, and that will do it for the first half. It's 2-0 in favor of Chi Nation. We'll take a break. Second half coming up next here on SBS, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, Class C graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith, but my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics, and we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Let SBS broadcast your sporting event. We have experience and can generate excitement and permanent digital memories for your team.
Tonight. That time, finally a goal for the Stampede!
We have professional videographers using high-definition modern-day cameras, color analysts, and play-by-play announcers with state-of-the-art, classy graphical scoreboards to keep you updated. Plus, we have commercials to advertise your team, club, or sponsor, and us. Plus, we do pregame and postgame interviews.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the postgame show brought to you by Marion Central Catholic. My name's Kyle Smith. Well, my name doesn't matter. These young ladies matter. It's senior night as the Hurricanes win a battle down the stretch, 48-46.
Hi, I'm Carrie Kramer. I swim 50 breast, 50 free, and 100 back.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape, but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense, and Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and a goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. We broadcast sporting events for people of all ages, including adult leagues, high school leagues, and kids. Complete with professional-looking graphics, broadcasters, color analysis, and commercials. We do pre- and post-game interviews with the players. In addition, Sports Broadcast Solutions does highlight films, including college recruiting reels, highlight films you'd see on sports news programs, and just simply highlight films for fun. Sports Broadcast Solutions also provides raw footage and live streams if you'd like. Subscribe to us and listen to our professional talk videos about relevant topics in the pro and college ranks. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, contact us at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com and become part of the digital world. Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. Instead of spending hundreds or thousands with all these college recruiting sites, let us put together your college highlight reel. For just a fraction of your potential college scholarship and significantly less than these recruiting services, we got this. In addition, we put together highlight reels for teams, including high school, your club team, or travel team.
My teammate gave me a great pass, and I just took it. The other team slashed me, took the opportunity, saw where the goalie was weak, and I just shot it there.
Solon, O'Connor, and Marsh back on defense. And Marsh gets a blowout. We got a breakaway at 2-0. A shot, and a goal! So 3-3. The power play was officially over.
Whatever your sports broadcast needs, check us out at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital world.
Missing your child's sporting event just plain stinks. But you don't have to worry about that anymore, thanks to Sports Broadcast Solutions. SBS is a live broadcasting network, as well as covering your on-demand needs, recruiting videos, highlight reels, and much, much more. We can broadcast live to any website, and we also post as much on-demand content as you need. For more information about SBS, check out our website at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone.
Second half about to begin. It's 2-0 in favor of Chicago Nation FC. Dizdarevich with a goal and McLeod with a goal. And that's where we stand right now, partner. 2-0. And unless something crazy happens, Chi Nation's going to go back to their third round of 16.
Yeah, if you're Chicago, you just want to keep doing what you were doing at the end of the first half. You were applying all the pressure on Indy, and you just need to keep that going. Indy's facing an uphill battle. We talked about it pregame. They're facing an uphill battle just coming in today, having tired legs, having played yesterday, a lot working against them, and now down 2 goals. It's definitely going to be tough, but if you're Chicago, you just got to play disciplined and put this game on ice.
Both literally and figuratively.
Yes.
I was talking to the photographer for Indy, and they talked about how last night it took 2 hours to get the ice off the field. So they were dealing with that. Then they had to play a long soccer game against Berber, tired legs, and unfortunately one of their guys got a red card for getting a little too, intense. It happens. It's a do-or-die semifinal. And so they don't have much of a bench today. They did not stay in a hotel last night. Like I said, going into the broadcast in the pregame show, they drove to Indianapolis, drove back tonight. And so a lot of gas that they've used the last couple of days. And they're playing a little shorthanded, and now they got to score 2 goals in 45 minutes.
Yeah, that's one of the things where professionals, you're typically flying. You're there already. You have time to practice and everything. But when you're in the semi-pro or lower, high school, college, you they say don't let the trip beat you, don't let the drive beat you, and that is a real thing. A long drive, then you have to get out, warm up, and keep your mind focused throughout the drive and during the game. It's a tough task to try to do, to take a 3.5 hour drive and stay focused on the task at hand, which is trying to win this game.
Well, we talked to the fans from Indy, and they're confident they can score 3 goals in regulation, not give up any, and pull off another upset. But I just don't see it, partner. We've seen a lot of good stuff on the defensive end from Chi Nation. In fact, Salazar cheated up, did not get the ball. He dove for it, dropped it, and a turnaround shot from Indy, and a guy from Chi Nation went into the goalie box and kicked it out with his knees. So, like, they're battling on the defensive end. They're there for their goalie. It's just been better play overall from Chi Nation today than Indy.
Yeah, so far it has been an advantage. Outside of the first 5 or so minutes where Indy was putting on the pressure, controlling possession. And if you're Indy, you want to get off to a strong start to begin this half. You want to start strong, get an early goal if you can, and then you're just looking at one more that you need. You want to strike early and strike quick, and they will start with the ball.
It always feels in a game like this, in a championship environment, when you're losing, it always feels 10 degrees colder, and when you're winning, it feels 10 degrees warmer.
I definitely agree with that. Everything's much better. Everything's much easier when you're winning.
I always think about back in 2000 when the Vikings lost 41-0 in the NFC Championship game, and it was a really cold day. What's going on?
So some players moving a little early, taking off before the ball was kicked.
There we go. Well, I just kept it at 3 seconds because we were going to play extra time anyways. We switch sides as now Chi Nation will be attacking from the north. It's very dark on the far corners.
Yeah, lights are in full effect now. The sun has completely set.
We're now in daylight savings time, the darkest part of the day beginning. But I was, when I think of that game, because the Vikings play in a dome, and then they have to play outside a cold day at the Meadowlands, and they lost 41-0. And for a team that doesn't play outside a lot, except for road games, you got to think Randy Moss and Chris Carter and who was their quarterback? But all those guys, it had to felt 10 degrees colder, losing 41-0 in that cold of a game. And I just think, analogy-wise, it feels the same for Indy. Driving 3.5 hours, they were just in Chicago last night, and now a colder day than it was yesterday, and they're down 2-0. Turnaround kick. I don't know, partner. I think he had time to maybe stop it and try to kick it straight up. I don't know if he had to kick it out like that.
Just didn't want to take a chance, already trailing. Wasn't sure where his teammates were, decided to boot it out and reset.
What minute mark, if you're Indy, do you stop caring about the score and the only thing you care about is scoring to make it 2-1?
I'd say within the last 10 minutes, if especially down by 2, it's tough even at that point, but you still have time. You need to put on the pressure. Like I said, you need to try to get a goal here early on, and that makes things a whole lot different, a whole lot easier for you if you can score in these first few minutes.
Out in front, good block by the Gladiators, and then headed straight up by Butler. Now back to the sideline. Chi Nation will play it. Chi Nation's dominated most of this game, and they forced Indy into some tough spots. Like I said, I think the passing for Indy's been a little crisper, Brandon, but the passing for Chi Nation has been quicker. It's been harder to read the Chi Nation passes than it has been for Indy. For Indy, crisper passes, but kind of stagnant and easier to read for Chi Nation's defense.
Yeah, they've had a lot more passes. If you want to use a football analogy, we've talked some football, American football rather. They're kind of playing between the 20s. They're having a lot of nice passes in the middle of the field, but once they actually get toward the box, things tighten up. Chicago's played great defensively and not allowed any real good prime shooting opportunities for Indy.
Out at the boundary, and then it goes out of bounds. Early on in the second half. Don't go anywhere. Post-game interviews following the broadcast. Good chance coming up for Indy. Navarra will lead it on the free kick. Got to score twice in 45 minutes. But like I said, partner, playing on the road, you really want to score 3 times in regulation, not have to go to PKs. But you know what? You'll take it. And good job on defense for Chi Nation. Great play by Dizdarevich. He'll play it. Waits for his teammates to join him. As a good lead pass that time to Lopez. And then kicked out of bounds. Throw in coming up. As Indy is claiming bad sportsmanship from Chi Nation. I don't know. I guess you could argue that, partner, but it's not like he threw the ball 15 yards.
Yeah, Indy was trying to get one of the other balls, one of the reserve balls, but they were already chasing down the ball that was hit out of play.
Yeah, I guess when you're down, you're trying to argue for any kind of advantage you can get.
Yeah, they know that it's an uphill battle that they're facing right now. They know that they need 2 goals in this half. So they're just trying to resume play as soon as they can and give themselves any sort of little advantage that they can possibly get.
And that's just such an advantage for Chi Nation, because even if Chi Nation gives up a goal, let's say in the next 5 minutes, you know we still have 1 goal to work with. And if they get complacent, we can get 1 back to make it 3-1. It's just so much more of an edge to be up 2-0 than 1-0. But you think about the 30th minute or the 35th minute, you just cheat up on offense and you stop caring about defense?
Yeah. I mean, you still care about it, but it's kind of like hockey, where you have that extra attacker and you're willing to give up a little more just because you know you have to push and get something back.
And of course, the old cliche, you want to play to win, not to lose. So for Chi Nation, stay aggressive, just don't be over-aggressive. Out in front. This has been one of their more impressive games of the fall, because they're used to playing sluggish, but for this game, they were only sluggish for the first 3 minutes, or maybe 4 minutes, and then after that, it was all Chi Nation. Complete dominance since then. Text line still open. Your favorite high school, college, or professional soccer memory. Text 330-957-7653. And Indy looking to play it quickly, as they need to score twice in about 41 minutes. On the sideline. Looking for a handball, but that was off the chest. Partner, you'd like to see more spacing from Indianapolis. They're way too close.
And sometimes that happens too when you're trying to make something happen, and that's an opportunity for Chicago even, where you can just switch the field, get it to the other side, and maybe get yourself a break.
Off on the sideline. It's played right now by Fillet.
If you're Indy, that's what you want to do right now. You want to switch the field, get this ball to the far side.
And you'd like to see them pass it quicker. So more give-and-go plays, quicker passes. Everything's been a little stagnant. Ball still alive. Navarra with it. Sends it back and stolen away by Shy Nation. And a foul committed on the play. I don't know, partner, a little ticky-tack there, but it looks like he got the leg as he was slide tackling to get the ball.
Yeah, you got to get ball if you don't want to get a call.
Is that the Dr. Seuss version of sports broadcasting?
That's right. If you don't hit the ball, you'll get the call. And now, give Chicago the ball and a chance to go back the other way.
Got to hit that ball, otherwise there'll be a call. And if he falls.
Is that all?
Shy Nation on the attack. Out in front, played on the right foot, now played by Butler. A little give and go action on the sideline, stolen away by the Gladiators, and it was stolen by Aday. Now on the sideline, last touch by Shy Nation. Throw in coming up. Sends it up, and it's headed out to the sideline. Gladiators trying to keep it in. Ball was out. You'd like for the Gladiators to score, Brandon, in the next 10 minutes or so if they can. You don't want to be in a spot where you got to score like twice in 10 minutes. Substitution, Jan Smith will enter the game. He's a tall guy. I like it though, partner. You put in fresh legs, maybe a new dimension to that offense that Shy Nation hasn't seen yet, and maybe it'll lead to a goal.
Yeah, just try to shake things up. Things haven't been working in your favor. Maybe a fresh body out there can provide some sort of spark for your team.
And if you're Indy, you still kind of have to think about defense, but you got to find a way to score. Shot, a good save by Salazar. Whew, big time save. That was it, partner. You score there. It becomes a different game, but good save by Salazar.
Yeah, putting his team on his back there on that one. Really putting the pressure on for Indy.
Shy Nation again. Ball loose. No rebound. And then sliding on it is Schwing. He's had a pretty good game. That was a terrible kick, though, and then stolen away as it goes back to the Gladiators.
Yeah, he tried to direct that kick to a player, an actual pass as opposed to just clear, and it went right to Chicago instead. Luckily, they get the foul, so Indy will maintain possession.
How do you play soccer in a game this cold, partner? You just wear those thermal socks to try to keep your feet warm?
Yeah, you try to stay warm and with your dress, and then also when you're running around, it helps a little bit too. So the midfielders and the strikers getting to move around a lot. I was a goalie, so it's always a little bit harder when you're down on your end, especially if you're not getting a lot of opportunities at a certain point of the game, just to try to stay warm. Do what you can, jump around and just blowing into your hands. Try to keep them as warm as possible for when a save opportunity comes up.
Shy Nation has it in their own end. And then kicked out in front off the body of Salazar. You got to like this goalie in Salazar. He takes his time. He never feels pressured. Always plays within his element. Even like a play like that, he sees the attacker coming right at him. He doesn't panic. He just takes his time and kicks it out, plays his game, not the attacker's game.
That's what you want to do. You never want to look frantic out there, especially as a goalie. You want to just keep things calm, just control the defense, control your team, and keep things under your control. Salazar does a nice job of doing that.
Sure wish it was 75 degrees again. But partner, I don't think it's going to be 75 till next May.
Yeah, it doesn't look like that's going to be coming up anytime soon.
And both guys falling to the ball, but the first push was on Indy, so they always call the first push instead of the second one. Free kick coming up for Chi Nation. And partner, now that you're up by 2, you can play a little monkey in the middle with it if you want. You know, kick it out of bounds when you feel pressured. Don't have to rush it on offense because you don't need any more goals, but you obviously don't want to give up 2 goals. At the sideline, then kicked away that time by Butler. Fresh legs coming up for Chi Nation. Jed McLeod will come in. His brother scored to make it 2-0. And a new player will enter for Indy. That'll be Josue Miller. And that's going to be a free kick coming up for Chi Nation.
And our first card.
Well, it's like we talked about, partner. Now that you called it, anything close to that you have to call going forward.
We get a yellow given out and gives a chance for a substitution.
Well, we're at the 16th minute. You don't have to score here, but you'd like to get a shot on net to keep the momentum going for your team. Get some confidence on offense, as they had a chance. Salazar saved it about 3 minutes ago. And Chi Nation on defense now. They get it, and they try to clear. They can't. Kick from way far away. I don't know. I think they had some good things going on offense, partner. I think it's too early in the game to be doing those kind of suicide kicks like that.
Yeah, that was, we talked a little bit in the first half. That's just a wasted play right there. You have numbers up there, you have control, and you had options. You could have just passed that back. You could have just maintained possession. That was a bad call, in my opinion.
At the 32nd minute, I could understand. Down 2, not at the 15th, 16th minute. It was a good game for Klavjan as his day is over. And his team might be going to the round of 16. It's been a good team effort, partner. There really hasn't been a weakness from Chi Nation today. They played as a team. The first 3 or 4 minutes they played poorly as a team, but after that, great play. Here we go, chance for Chi Nation. Turnaround kick, just goes wide.
Yeah, keeper came out to try to make a play. Couldn't get a clean hit on that one to try to clear it. And an opportunity for Chicago just a little wide.
Fierro's kick just went wide. That would have been the dagger. It's just so hard, partner. Not only are they playing back-to-backs, but that's like 7 hours driving each way.
7 hours, you're down a man because of the red card yesterday. And so, yeah, just everything going against your team coming into this one. The underdog to begin with, even without those factors, you're the underdog coming into the game, and then all of that just piling up against you as well.
Maybe they should have just camped out at Ackerman last night.
That might have actually been the better option than trying to come up last minute.
It's 7 hours each way, so 14 hours of driving that they've done. 3.5 to Berber, then 3.5 back to Indy, then 3.5 here, and then 3.5 back to Indy. Nuts.
Yeah, the driving by itself will exhaust you. You throw in the fact that they played a game yesterday as well.
In the cold.
In the cold.
Against the higher seed. So you can make the argument Berber is the more talented team than Indy, so they pulled off the upset, then they were asked to do it back-to-back nights. I mean, you think about the NCAA tournament and why there are upsets and why there's the George Masons and the Butlers. They get an extra day to recover, look at the game film, and analyze what they're going to do. I mean, you're playing back-to-back, so you have literally no time to evaluate what happened the night before.
Yeah, no time to evaluate what you did, and also no time to really scout out the opponent all that much either. Your crash course of who are the playmakers for the opposing team and what they like to play.
Butler almost falls down. Gladiators on the attack. Ball loose out in front and then cleared by Shy Nation. Every time the Gladiators get close to a goal, Shy Nation's there with the defensive stop. Salazar looking for the shutout. He hasn't had to do a lot, but when they've needed him, he's delivered. So Bowen McLeod will enter. So it was somebody else who had the penalty kick. And a substitution coming in for Indianapolis. That'll be Hector Gonzalez. William Finch. No. A lot of McLeods on the Shy Nation team. They've got Elias McLeod, Jed, and Bowen.
Must run in the family.
Out at midfield, and great play by Butler. He's giving it his all tonight. It's cold turf, but he's going after every ball and slide tackling for it and winning a lot of those battles.
Yeah, and that last one, just a chance to keep possession for your team. Slid and able to hit it back to his defender.
There's a foul. Well, I don't blame him. You're down 2-0. You're trying to find every advantage to get that steal and go back on the attack, but a foul's a foul. And now a chance for Shy Nation to score to make it 3-0. Shy Nation arguing that it was a yellow, but I don't know, just going for the ball. Probably just, well, you called a yellow on us. That means you got to call a yellow on them, right? Well, not necessarily. Sasa Lobovich was arguing for the yellow card. Isaac Sutton will come into the game, as will McLeod. As Sutton's kind of the stopper on defense. Usually starts, but the younger guys have gotten some starts in this fall league. And a corner kick coming up as it was deflected out by Schwing. Another corner kick in front, cleared by Indy, and it goes straight out. Indy's going to clear the bench. Victor Mejia Sanchez will enter the soccer match.
Yeah, and interesting on that last corner kick, Chicago playing a little more conservative, had 4 men back, so only that puts 7 in the box. Or rather, 6 in the box. Your keeper's back too, so only 6 guys were actually in the box on that last corner kick.
And another reason that Shy Nation's going to the bench, you've seen a couple of guys that are shaky, holding hamstrings, or they've had some cramps. you want to have as fully healthy as you can for the round of 16. So Chi Nation's dominated much of this game. No reason for their guys to play the full 90 minutes.
Yeah, rest your guys up and get ready for the next one. And let your teammates do the job and close this one out for you.
A little bit of monkey in the middle that Chi Nation's playing.
Able to switch the field.
Sutton with it now. Good spacing right now by Chi Nation. Out in front. Ball loose and picked up by the Gladiators. Still have time. Would like them to score in the next 5 minutes or so. Both goals for Chi Nation took place in the first half. Dizdarevich stole the show today. I don't think I've ever gone to a soccer game where the coaching staff is speaking in all Spanish. It's awesome. In this league, they have some Polish coaches and some Russian coaches. That's pretty cool. But
there you go. And you gotta be multilingual.
And if you're swearing, unless you took 4 years of Spanish in high school, you have no idea what they're saying. It's been an impressive night for the Chi Nation team, partner. Besides those first couple minutes, they took it to Indianapolis tonight.
Yeah, they've definitely dominated this match so far today. Still time left for Indy to try to make a push, but it's been all Chicago here of late.
Ball loose out in front. And cleared by Chi Nation.
Just another example of just numbers in the box. Chicago able to prevent any real prime shooting opportunities for Indy, not allowing any space.
That's got to be a red, at least a yellow. That time it was blatant. That time it was not going after the ball. That was not sportsmanlike at all.
Yeah, frustrations maybe starting to kick in here for the Gladiators.
I know you don't want to give out reds in a championship game, but that was pretty bad. Well, partner, we're now at 25-44. Do you start consider cheating up all your midfielders all out attack on offense?
You've started to push a little bit already for Indy. They've started to make a little bit of a push, have a couple of opportunities, but yeah, you need to start putting on some pressure on Chicago and really start pushing numbers up, because Chicago has had the benefit. They've been able to stack the box, and they're playing a little more conservative, keeping their two backs deep out there, so they're not allowing any opportunities.
Throw in off the body and played at midfield. Stolen away by Chi Nation. They'll lead the attack. That time a fairly decent kick by Schwing off the head. And Indianapolis has to speed up the pace here. That was such a big penalty kick that Chi Nation had. 1-0 is just so much different than 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 gives you a lot more comfort if you're Chicago. You're able to stay back a little bit. You're not worried about just the one goal, so you can play a little bit more conservative.
Another problem right now for Indianapolis, Brandon, is the goalkeeper having trouble on the punting. So anytime you have a goal kick, you're not getting as much yardage on those kicks. So you're going to have to start from deep in your own end, passing the ball, instead of a good punt right off the goal kick.
Yeah, that gives you more space that you have to cover with the ball as opposed to the ball in the air where you could start a little further down. And trailing 2, that's definitely working against you.
The more passes in a soccer game, the harder it is to score. And that's the same thing for American football. The more plays, the harder it is to score. I mean, that's really why Tennessee, when you talk about American football, they're having trouble scoring touchdowns. It takes them about 10, 12, 15 plays to get a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, even your local team, Chicago Bears, they're having trouble just because they're a run-first team, so you're not getting as many big plays.
And so, obviously, the transition to soccer is if it takes 8 passes to score, as that's another push. I mean, now it's getting blatant, partner. You got to keep calling stuff, otherwise it's just going to get worse.
And there is a card.
Yeah. And the reason why I say it's going to get worse is the frustration comes into mind. All these hours of driving, it's cold. Nobody likes to lose a championship game. A lot of family and friends are here.
Yeah, you're cold, tired, frustrated. All of that boils down to what we just saw there. Just frustrations getting taken out on the field.
Anger gets the best of you sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to hold in the anger. And you're seeing that a couple of times from Indianapolis. Hey, but at least the Colts were winning the last time we checked.
So something's going right for Indy.
The Colts are winning. Miles Turner hasn't been traded yet. Well, the fat lady isn't singing yet, but I think she's warming up about 5 yards away from us. Not looking good if you're a fan of the Gladiators. Picked up by Shy Nation as they go on the attack again. It's been a fun one in Glen Ellen. We appreciate all the people that were watching the Vikings-Bills game. The Vikings won in overtime, so they're now 8-1. We appreciate you watching tonight, transferring from Fox NFL Sunday to us.
It's now back-to-back losses for Buffalo.
Yeah, the Jets could win that division. The Dolphins could win it, and if the Patriots win today, the Patriots would be back alive. Colts are losing again now. They're down 20-19. Cowboys beating the Packers 21-14. Lions beat the Bears. Oh, my.
Yeah, Bears unable to hold a fourth quarter lead. End up losing by 1.
Man, are the Broncos bad. They lost again, 17-10 to the Titans. Well, you know what? It only cost them about $250 million for Russell Wilson's contract extension. Partner, in a game like this, the Gladiators have had so much trouble with spacing. Why do you think that's the case?
It's just a combination, just lack of fundamental right now, and part of that could be from fatigue. You're just trying to cheat a little bit, get a little closer to the ball, try to make things happen, and you're ended up getting sucked into where the play is. You gotta spread out a little bit and switch the field. Chicago's done it a few times, and it's worked in terms of creating space. If Indy can try to replicate that, maybe they can make something happen.
McLeod to Lebovich, and he sends it back to his defender in Strain. Strain has been the captain on a couple of these Chicago Nation teams. Now to McLeod. We haven't seen a lot of offense by Shy Nation in the second half, and that's really been by design, partner. Like you said, they're bringing a lot of midfielders back on defense as a security precaution. You know, game like this, it's single elimination. All you care about is winning.
That's right.
You don't care about the unwritten rules of soccer or trying to score goals for the fans. You just want to win this game.
Yeah, that's one of those things where if it's a one-goal game, you don't necessarily see that, or at least not this early, because you're still trying to push and get that insurance. But in a two-goal game, you have the benefit, and that's where the 2-0 score, that second goal, was a real backbreaker for Indy.
And it was just a very avoidable goal, because they tripped Dizdarevich in the box. You just can't allow that. You got to be smarter than that. And both players go for the ball. I like the no call there, and we play on. Out at the boundary. Lopez will enter the game soon for Shy Nation. Well, it would have been nice if if Berver City and Indy could have played last week, and would, Indy would be not as tired for tonight's game. And I'm not saying that that's the reason they lost tonight, but it would have been nice to see what would have happened with fresh legs from Indy, but it wasn't the case, and it's a 2-0 lead right now for Shy Nation.
We'll see if they give a little bit more of a push here in these last 10 minutes or so, a little over 10 minutes in regulation. See if they can try to create something, get one back, because as soon as you get one back and make it a one-goal game, anything can happen at that point.
Well, it would be a heck of a comeback. You've got about 10 minutes to work with. You got to give it all on the line right now. The best 10 minutes of soccer you can give. Meanwhile, Shy Nation on the attack. Stolen away by the Gladiators. It's just been very fundamentally sound soccer by Shy Nation for much of this matchup. They're not giving up a lot of corner kicks. If it's near the corner, they make sure to kicking it out so it's just a straight throw-in. They're not giving the Gladiators a lot of opportunities. Navarro with it. Set up in front, off the foot. And Shy Nation intercepts as they obtain the ball now in midfield. Give and go play. Look at that move. The possession and the dribbling was fantastic. Setting it up at midfield. Good lead pass. Did he stay on side? He did. Shot. Very wide. Trying to keep it in. Dizdarevich does. Set up in front. And stolen away off the body. Getting his body in front of that pass. Now the Gladiators will go with it. At midfield. Played by Strain. Great job on the deke. Now played at midfield. Might have hit the chest. No call. As was in the act of passing when he accidentally hit the Gladiator person's chest. Reed Strain will let that ball go out of bounds. Post-game show coming up next. Probably Dizdarevich, but try to find who scored the PK, as well as Austin Salazar. The dream is alive for Chicago Nation. They move on to the round of 16. 4 more wins for that magical trophy. Because I just don't see the Gladiators winning this one. at midfield. Shy Nation beat Waslaka to get to this point. And we'll give you the standings entering the playoffs in a second, but this isn't the best that we've seen from Shy Nation. Usually they're the number 1 seed. They had some draws in the regular season, but they beat Waslaka to get to the championship game. They play on their home field for the championship. That's all you want. To be at home to advance to the round of 16, and they defended their home field well today.
It's always nice to be able to win in front of your home fans, too.
Berber City had a great regular season. Here goes Shy Nation.
Just a little out in front.
Left-footed kick. We'll get maybe 2 minutes of extra time, as we have not had a lot of stoppage due to injuries. Chicago Nation was the number 3 seed. They went 5-1-2. Waslaka Chicago went 5-2-1. So too many losses put Shy Nation in a fairly tough spot for the playoffs. But they won technically as the underdog. They beat Waslaka. And they found a way into the championship game. The Gladiators did too. The Gladiators make it into the tournament with a record of 4-2-2. Shy Nation was excellent on the road this year. Coming into the playoffs, they were 3-0-1. As that's a lead pass out in front, one-on-one. Tries to tap it into the goal. It's off the post, still alive. Oh, great play by Indianapolis. 2 guys come back after the little tap kick goes off the post. Looking to rub it in that time with the empty net goal, but here comes Indianapolis. Maybe their last chance of the game. Good pass on the left foot, not much on it, but it's in the net. Salazar got a bad read on it, and it's in the net. No more shutout. And the Gladiators have a little bit of life. Wow. The game of soccer, partner, can change in just 15 seconds. It went from 3-0 to 2-1, just like that.
That's right. Chicago looked like they were going to put in that dagger, get that third goal off the post. That's about as close as you'll get to a goal. Instead, Indy on the counter, able to come all the way down and beat Salazar for the first time today. It's a 1-goal game, about 5 minutes remaining.
Man. It sure looked like it was going to be a tap kick and a goal to make it 3-0. Instead, it's 2-1. So now Shy Nation's going to be very conservative on defense. Alex Fillion did not score. What a goal that was. But is it too little, too late? We will see some extra time. And now it's up to the refs to determine how much extra time. Obviously, if Shy Nation scores in the next couple of minutes, extra time doesn't matter. But if it remains 2-1, extra time, every little second, every minute matters for Indianapolis to force overtime and the penalty kicks. At the sideline, 2-1, a late goal by Indianapolis makes it interesting now. Off the chest. Indianapolis on the attack, on the left foot. Trying to tap it to himself, but Shy Nation was not fooled. Lopez, the defender, not fooled on that play. Out to the sideline, attacking with Strain. All right, partner, now for Indianapolis, it's all-out attack. You got to score to make it 2-2.
That's right, and you have a little bit of momentum. You're coming off a goal. Try to just keep that pressure on. And they were able to get their 1 goal on a counterattack. Now they need to find a way to actually force the ball downfield.
So if you're Shy Nation, do you just want to play monkey in the middle, kick it out of bounds to win this one?
Well, right now you have a chance to maybe do something.
Almost. Man, how close can you get?
Yeah, just a little wide. They run to get the ball. They know they're running out of time.
Man, Jed McLeod. Now I get it, a lot of guys are right-footed versus left-footed in terms of their dominant foot. So maybe if that was on his right foot, it would have been an easy goal. Tries to kick out his left, can't get it in. Tap pass to put the game away. Looking for the foul, but he fell on his own accord. No foul.
Yeah, that was a good no call there. Just unable to get it to his dominant foot there. Looked like he was trying to switch feet and get himself balanced for a shot. Just wasn't able to do so.
Looking for the foul. If anything, partner, it would be on the goalie because the attacker has every right to that ball.
Yeah, nasty collision there, though. You hate to see it, as both players appear to be a little bit shaken up.
Are you surprised that Schwing, the goalie, went after that?
At this point, you have to. You have to go after that ball because otherwise it's a one-on-one. He's got himself a breakaway there. So that's the right call for the goalie to go after that ball.
For people that aren't familiar about the game of soccer, the attacker has the full right to the ball. The goalie goes after it. Both people collide. Foul or no foul?
No foul on the goalie. Both players have the right to that ball. And the goalie will usually get the benefit of the doubt as well.
So they're going to allow a couple more minutes of extra time, but this would probably be Indianapolis' last surge. Got to find a way to get some passes in front of the net. Another chance. Ball loose to make it 3-1. Left-footed kick. Shy Nation advances to the round of 16. Alex Fillion with the dagger. Well, partner, you got no choice. You can't have any midfielders back. You got to have as many midfielders in front on offense, and you get burned when you do that sometimes.
Yeah, and that was just Indy. It's been a struggle for them all day to just maintain possession, keeping it down. Early on, they were doing a great job of it, but then Chicago tightened up, and these last few minutes even, they were able to score their goal on a counterattack. But when it comes to just maintaining possession, they haven't had a lot of success in it, just that one fast break. And it ends up with Chicago on a counter of their own and a little chip up and over the goalie for the goal.
And Salazar fell down to see if they would blow it dead. Usually they blow it dead after the punt in terms of blowing the game dead. Good kick. And a late call, possibly a foul. That's why you always got to check. All these refs, partner, got to check before the game if there's any holes in the net, because I thought it might have gone through a hole in the net for the fourth goal of the game for Shy Nation.
Just a little wide once again. How many times have we said that here in this second half? For Chicago, they've had a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. The better team usually has more opportunities because they're either the faster team or they're getting those passes out quicker. And that was the thing. Shy Nation, quicker passes, a little bit more creative with the passes. We appreciate you watching. Hopefully you watch the post-game show. We're also going to post all on-demand content to YouTube. Thanks for coming out tonight, Brandon. I know it was pretty cold, but it was a fun one.
Yeah, it's always great to come out, and especially a competitive game like this. A lot on the line for both teams. And it's been a 2-goal game for much of this game. A little excitement at the end from Indy.
Shot wide off the free kick. I think for Chi Nation, this was almost as close to perfect as possible. It's another chance for Chi Nation. But they're just going to take their time, just waste time. Good job maintaining possession on the sideline. But this was as close to a perfect soccer game as you're going to get for Chi Nation. Maybe a little complacent after not scoring to make it 3-0 and a counterattack done well by Indy. But I'd say this was like an A- or an A performance by Chi Nation tonight.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that grade. For Chicago, after a little bit of a slow couple first minutes, they were able to put it together and play one heck of a match today.
As for Indy, I'd give them a B. I get it, they're shorthanded. I know they're dead tired. Trying to get the ice off the pitch, it took 2 hours. But I would have liked to see a little bit more creativity from the passing lanes when it came to Indianapolis. Didn't see that tonight. A little bit stagnant on the offensive side of the ball. And Chi Nation goes to the round of 16 as you hear the 3 whistles by the nearest official, and that does it, partner. 3-1, the final score. Could have been as bad as 3-0, but a late counterattack by Indianapolis. They made it close, Brandon. It was 2-1, but just too much Chi Nation tonight.
Yeah, that one counterattack gave them life for just a moment, and as you said, it was just all Chicago, and they just weren't able to have a continuous rush. Indy wasn't. Chicago had the ball on the attack most of this second half. And great offense is as good as good defense here in soccer, as you don't allow a counterattack, you don't allow many scoring chances for the Gladiators, and makes your goalie happy as he doesn't have to do as much work.
So we're going to go to break. Post-game interviews after the trophy presentation. You're watching the 2022 Midwest Central Championship game here on Sports Broadcast Solutions.
Made from an athlete's mind for all sports minds. Level Up Branding is a unique sports marketing and branding agency, offering athlete management, brand management, and so much more. We are powered by experience, currently serving athletes in the WNBA, MLR, NFL, and college sports. We are looking to take on more clients because everyone deserves a shot at their dream. Our goal is to help others by inspiring one person at a time. Level Up Branding was founded by Lauren, who was and still is an athlete. She understands the importance of being a well-rounded and built individual. It takes an athlete to know an athlete. We are built different. There is so much more to an athlete than what is seen on the field or the court. We make it a priority to understand our athletes. We want to know and understand our clients' values, motives, passions, and future goals. At Level Up Branding, we believe in helping others succeed. We believe in giving back. We believe in family. You are more than an athlete. Level Up Branding was founded based on the sheer passion of sports, community involvement, and the sense of belonging to a community. We were created from an athlete's innovative mindset and experience, and here to offer our services to like-minded athletes.
Sports Broadcast Solutions is a broadcasting network for everyone. For those of you who would like to broadcast or live stream your event, or maybe make a highlight tape but would like a sponsor to fund the event, SBS has a myriad of ways to advertise your sponsor during our broadcasts. We have commercials. We have on-air reads by the announcers.
Albatross Physical Therapy and Wellness specializes in pain-free.
We have graphics. And we have watermarks. Finally, Sports Broadcast Solutions can create a commercial for you or your sponsor. Whatever your sports broadcast needs, we are at sportsbroadcastsolutions.com. Check us out and become part of the digital sporting world.
Welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcasting network for everyone. I'm Kyle Smith, but I don't matter. This young man matters. Alex Fillion, the SBS player of the game, as Shy Nation wins 3-1 and advances to the round of 16. Alex, It looked like you guys scored to make it 3-0, then they come back down the pitch to score 10 seconds later.
Literally insane.
What happened there?
I don't know. We had that chance, and then we kind of switched off for a sec, and then they just countered us, and they got the best of us. Kind of lucky, but, nice counterattack by them, and got to give them a little bit of credit, but, yeah.
Big-time win. You guys are a little sluggish the first 3 minutes. Then after that, it was almost a picture-perfect game from Shy Nation.
Yep.
What were you guys doing those first 3 minutes? Then you were able to just take it, pedal to the metal to take it to Indianapolis tonight.
Yeah, so at the very end of that game, too, after they scored, it was, 3 minutes left with added time. They had to go all-out attack, and then they were exposed. We got them. We had our own little counter. They were super high pressed up, and then ball over the top came, and then we just finished it, put them away.
So the goal you scored, it was a one-on-one because they didn't have a lot of midfielders back there cheating up to try to make it 2-2.
Yeah.
Do you guys work on that a lot in practice, especially those situations where you're up by a goal and the other team has to cheat up on offense to try to tie it up?
Yeah, we put ourselves in a lot of situations at training. We'll play regular 8v8, 11v11, then we kind of change it up in situations. We'll go all right, 5 minutes, this team is up by one goal. You have, come back and stuff like that. So we put ourselves in situations to show today, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you guys win. You guys are going to the round of 16, 3 straight years in the round of 16. What does it mean to you?
It's great. It just shows how good we are as a club, and new players coming in. We have a lot of the same core as last year, and we just keep bringing the talent in Chicago. It just shows how much talented players are here, and then coaching staff and just all the hard work we put in.
So when you play in the fall, you're dealing with cold conditions. Like tonight, don't have to deal with that in the summer. What's it like playing in a do-or-die game in very cold weather like this?
It's tough, it's never easy. You got to warm up good and just be prepared because, I think 3 days ago, it was 70 degrees out here, and now it was 30, so it's a huge difference. But honestly, most of us here grew up in Chicago, so we're used to the cold weather, and we can adapt, So we got layers on, we got Under Armours, leggings, so we're used to it. And once you're moving, it's okay. Once you're warmed up, it's good. No issues.
Final thoughts about advancing to the round of 16. It's going to get colder, but you know what? You keep winning. It always feels 10 degrees warmer when you win these games.
No, yeah. We're just going to keep preparing. Can't control the weather. We just got to be prepared as best as we can. Training and then Under Armours, stuff like that, and then that's it. Once you're literally when you're warmed up, it's no problem. We're good.
That's Alex Fillion. Yeah. He made it 3-1 with the go-ahead dagger goal to defeat Indianapolis Gladiators Soccer Club. A 3-1 win for Chicago Nation FC. They're advancing to the round of 16 for the United Premier Senior League. For our awesome crew, for Brandon Januska, I'm Kyle Smith signing off. Another win for Chicago Nation FC, and we'll see you next time for the round of 16.